find that the basin, in general, there's a different frequency up there. And everybody, you talk to 3 people, and 2 out of 3 people have got a story. So as I say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And you know, Michelle has had personal experiences out there also. As we've gone out there, as we say, we shake hands and we kiss babies. And we did that for the first couple of years, which I was tickled to death to have her out there, so we could play off each other as opposed to some guy sitting in a coffee shop trying to be nosy and people thinking this guy's a voyeur. What's he doing? So it worked out very well. There's a lot of reality out there that, again, makes me very nervous. And we welcome and embrace stories. If you know, you're welcome after this to come up to me. I'll exchange number with you, and we can have a conversation. And so, thank you.
I've responded to a couple calls that were strange in nature as a sheriff's deputy for Duchesne County. I've actually had a couple other officers tell me some experiences that they've had, and out of respect for them, I'm not going to share any of those. It's kind of their story, and only because they knew my connection with the ranch did they share those with me and go, you know, I'm not crazy, you know. And then I've been told by other officers, hey, like I received a phone call from another deputy a couple weeks ago talking about something that he responded to, and it was an org at this lady's house, and very similar to kind of what, if any of you remember, the deputy that was on the season last year responding to. So we've had some.
Needless to say, the phenomenon is not confined to the barbed wire fence of the 512 acres of Skinwalker Range.
No.
Yeah, the Uinta Basin is a very interesting place, and as Jim mentioned, the energy's there, and we always go out looking for others that have had experiences, and it's been cool to have people that, as children or young people, were too ashamed to talk about the things that they saw because they'd be deemed as a crazy person or something like that, now come forward. That's some of the reward of what we're getting for doing the program, putting this sort of thing in light so that people are willing to talk about stuff that's real. It's real.
Okay, I was just wondering, Travis talked to the guy from SETI, and my question is there a possibility of maybe getting something out there from SETI to listen to that signal, and so that like maybe the insiders could assist?
Good question. The answer is yes.
Well, you know, y'all, what you gotta do is you gotta call SETI. Anyway,
yeah. The answer quickly is yes. We've also offered to partner with the Galileo Project out of Harvard. Harvard professor Avi Loeb, who has launched the Galileo Project to study this type of phenomena, has met with me, and we plan to collaborate and have an installation at the ranch. But you're about to see things get so much more advanced in the months to come.
My name's Grace. I was wondering if you guys could change what you're doing, what would you do, and would you rather do something else, or would you rather trade something that you wanted to do as a child for what you're doing now?
I know what Eric would change. He'd make the TV show go away and just leave him alone.
He hates it.
He hates it. He hates it so bad. No, you know what, honestly, I love what I do. It's a pain in the butt. It's a lot of work. But Skinwalker Ranch is a special place. It's probably my favorite place on the planet. As messed up as that sounds and as spooky and crazy as it can be, it's also probably one of the most peaceful places I've ever been. The energy there is special in doses. But no, I wouldn't trade this for anything.
It's Stranger Things for real. Truly.
I'm tougher than Hopper. I'm sick of it.
I'm Bella, and I was wondering, what was the moment that you guys realized, we really aren't alone?
The moment for me was October 14th of 2016. after 6 months of owning the property and not seeing anything unusual or feeling anything unusual, flying in a helicopter, meeting with the team, and being skeptical, having never seen a UFO, a ghost, or an orb, or anything of the sort, on that day, everything went haywire. And to not only see equipment malfunction, my iPhone drained from 80% to 0 within a matter of minutes, and then to see right in front of me with multiple witnesses sitting right there with me, a UFO, a flying saucer, 40 to 50 foot long, silver grayish disc in broad daylight above the mesa. I went from open-minded skeptic to experiencer, and I can't deny it. I mean, to deny it would be so dishonest. And to have multiple witnesses that viewed the same thing that day. There were also some other things that happened. One individual ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks following that day with strange illness. He was a 6'6", huge hulk of a man that was there as security. That day changed everything. And I'd say from that day forward, that's when we started installing the military-grade gated entrance, the guard shack, the 40 surveillance cameras, the infrarsonic sensors, everything that you see now. All of that existed long before a television series, just so everyone knows. The investigation was active before anyone even knew that we were involved, or that I owned the ranch. We had no intention, really, opening the gates until the History Channel persuaded me.
Hi, my name's Maria. My husband and I have been watching you guys from day one, really enjoy it. I feel like there's like two buckets of things going on here. You've got the Native Americans and the skinwalker and the things that you're saying. And then you've got all these technological things, the UFOs, I remember Travis in the helicopter saying, the controls were saying something was flying, 4 feet underneath them, but you couldn't see anything. And so sometimes I'm watching the show, I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? To me, this is like two different things. Are you seeing two different things, or is this all one combined? I don't know. I get confused when I'm watching the show sometimes. I'm like, where are we going with this? Is it both? Is it one? What?
I wish it was only two, honestly.
I'd say it's way more than two.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mishmash of all different types of phenomena. I think, again, it goes back to the energy that's there in the basin. You have a strong historical energy from the spiritual side with the Native Americans and everything, the lore of the skinwalker and everything. And then, for whatever reason, UFOs like to show up. So, when we see stuff, we're just going to document it. We're not, like, when you say, where's it going? We wish we knew. We're looking for a needle in a crazy-ass haystack, lower down. Yeah.
People ask all the time, is it aliens? Is it extraterrestrials? Is it interdimensional or multidimensional? Time travelers, perhaps? Or is it angels and demons? Is it spiritual phenomena? Are we dealing with Satan? Who knows? The honest answer is yes, all the above. I think the data shows that we're dealing with a diversity of phenomena for whatever reason that seems to converge on this place. The veil between this dimension and other dimensions, this realm and other realms is thin. There really is evidence of potential portals or wormholes on this property. Anyone who saw it, did everyone see the episode with the rabbi? Yeah. Okay. Do you remember the FLIR camera, how it picked up within seconds? Everything changed, the whole environment. And right in the gateway, the doorway into Homestead 2, you remember it was black. Who went to go walk through that doorway? What did you guys experience?
Well, as a kid that grew up with a family that delivered groceries, we had a big walk-in freezer that was below zero. it was like walking into that, except for instead of the cold going from outside in, it went from inside out.
Hey, Brian, we got 10 more minutes or so, and so probably
We'll try to
last
do our
person
best.
on the back.
Is there another conference in here after this?
All right.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
So you alluded at the very beginning, something about some things that you weren't able to share. Have there been any content to the show or discoveries that you guys have had that you've been prohibited by the government from sharing with the public? And if there are, no?
No, I'd say that the biggest challenge with the docu-series format is so much ends up on the cutting room floor. 90 to 95%. There's so much that happens that doesn't make it for whatever reason. We do have the data, we're compiling that. A lot of it we share on our website, and we do think it is the public's right to know. We consider our role as stewards of this ranch seriously, and our intention is to share it with all of you as fellow discoverers and hopefully bring, I think, new light to the phenomena, but so much doesn't see the light of day, but it's not on purpose. It's just...
But to answer your question, there's a reason why Brandon has, at great expense, kept the ranch private, hasn't taken any money from any government entities or anything like that. It's self-funded by Brandon because of that reason. You know, the answer is no. The government hasn't stopped us from sharing anything.
I will not sell my soul. I have yet to take a penny relative to the series. True story. I have donated all the proceeds that would have come to me from the docu-series to charity, scholarships, and really pouring it back into the work. Why? I don't want anyone questioning the integrity of this work. And to the skeptics, I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Try to disprove us.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Josh.
Diet Mountain Dew is fine, Josh.
I guess my question would be, do you guys ever intend to allow a tour or opportunities for amateur paranormal investigators to come on the ranch?
You know, the liability is such that, honestly, I appreciate what you're doing, investigating everything, but you are amongst about how many million requests do you get for that sort of thing?
So
I mean, the
many.
liability and not only that, every time you introduce a new person or something to the ranch, it messes with the scientific effort a little bit. That's why Eric's so annoyed by the TV show. I mean, he's angry. If it was up to him, no one would live there, and it would just be kept just, you know...
It'd be a sterile lab.
It'd be a sterile lab. So, he really doesn't like it. So, yeah.
Well, I just to say, I spent a couple hours with a representative from our insurance company not too long ago, and I can't remember how many times in the course of conversation he wanted to make sure that we're not letting people come on.
Yeah, well, and to follow up on what was a very good question and what Dragon said, we've had so many people end up in the hospital with mysterious illnesses and injuries that are real, that are serious. Yeah, we have to be very cautious. Please.
Okay, my question really is with the episode of when you brought in Ariel Marzadok in, was there anything that like totally freaked you guys out that like wasn't caught on camera with that episode, or?
Well, I think Jim mentioned one of those
really
things.
interesting, honestly.
Yeah, I think Jim mentioned one of those things. I think others experienced same things that were not captured on camera. So, yeah, there was a lot. We did not expect any of that.
Yeah, it was totally crazy and totally, piqued my interest.
Yeah, it was a real deal.
Hi, I'm
Young
Boston.
man.
I'm Boston, and I was wondering if you believed in Bigfoot.
Thank you. Great question, buddy, and thank
Easy. Nice work. Hey, I work on Skinwalker Ranch. Who am I to say it doesn't exist? So yeah, I'm going to say yes, I do believe in Bigfoot. Have I seen one? No. Hell yes, I believe in it. Yeah, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I would have said no. Now I'm with Dragon and everyone. I don't even know what reality is.
That's kind of funny that we brought that up because this year we've been joking that we're going to be doing something and Bigfoot's going to walk behind us. And we're going to be like, oh, hey. And
be like, hey, leave us alone. We're looking for aliens here.
So yes, I think we're open to it.
Yep. Good question, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Walter.
So I don't know if you guys have done this yet, and I know like the fear behind it of digging, but where you guys have drilled into the mesa and found that metal, have you ever thought about going farther and getting bigger machinery out there and digging up?
Yeah, we think about it all the time. I'll just say stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Betsy. I'm a microbiologist, and I was wondering if you've ever had anybody doing soil samples for the microbiology, looking for radiation-loving anaerobes or anything like that.
Yeah, the first thing I did was engage to have soil studies done. Didn't see anything unusual. I was convinced that there was a natural explanation for everything that was reported to the ranch, that it was nothing more than an adult scientific snipe hunt that had been had for decades. Nothing was found in the soil, and
we've done lots of soil samples and water samples, and a lot of them just come back normal, like there's nothing special there.
There's no even though the radiation shows up strangely in tandem with other unexplained activity, it's transient. It's not fixed to one place, it comes and goes, but there's no toxic waste or anything of that nature. That ranch has been given a clean bill of health from scientists, and we're talking